Welcome, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order, and because it's a public meeting, we'll ask for roll call. So if all members of council could please unmute your mics and ask that all cell phones are turned off. We welcome those that are attending tonight virtually, and all members of council are present, and our staff are here to support us in answering questions. So I'll ask for the roll call. So Councillor Dietrich. Just say yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and Councillor Neeb.
Here.
Councillor Oak.
Here.
Councillor Vaughn.
Here.
Councillor McLeod-Haggett.
Here.
Deputy Mayor.
Here.
All members are accounted for. Thank you. We'll close disclosure of pecuniary interest, the general nature thereof. Are there any disclosures at this time? Not seeing any. Thank you for that, and turn the meeting over to our clerk. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, item 3.
The purpose of this public meeting of Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of South Huron is to consider and review proposed zoning bylaw amendments under Section 34 of the Planning Act. This meeting is to also allow interested members of the public the opportunity to ask questions or offer comments on the application. Council will not make a decision on the proposed amendments at this public meeting, but based on the recommendations and information received at this public meeting, the proposed amendments will be presented for approval at a regular council meeting. The public registry for the application is located by the door and will be held by myself, the clerk. If any member of the public would like to be notified in writing of the decision, they are to provide their name and mailing address. Members of the public do not have the right to appeal the decision. Only the applicant, the property owner, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, a specified person under the Planning Act, or public body that has an interest in the matter may appeal the decision. Please refer to the County of Huron website for details about appeal rights.
Thank you. And we'll go on to item number 4.1. We welcome Selena McIntosh, our Huron County Planner. Welcome, Selena.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor Finch. I'll just get this presentation up here. So the item before council today is zoning bylaw amendment application Z04-2024. The property is located at a location described as Plan 376, part lot 1090, as reference plan 22R7082, parts 1 to 9. That is in the Exeter ward of South Huron. The owners are Windermere Communities Limited, and the applicant on their behalf is Monteith Brown Planning Consultants. So the intent of this zoning bylaw amendment is to essentially revise the zoning on various portions of the subject property to match the changes from an approved revision to the draft plan of subdivision that applies to that property. And that approved revision was approved earlier this year. Aside from mapping changes, there's also a proposal to reduce the minimum lot frontage on 5 single detached lots in the plan. And that reduction is from 11.8 to 11.5 meters for lots 25 through 29, as well as lot 88 on that draft plan. So here's a 2020 aerial photo of the subject lands we're talking about here. The red outline basically represents the boundaries of that draft plan of subdivision I've been referencing. These lands are designated residential and natural environment in South Huron's official plan. There's a variety of zones which apply. That includes an R1-22-H zone, which is essentially a residential low-density special zone with a holding. There's also an R1-23-H zone, an R3-16-H, which is our residential high-density zone, again, special with a holding, an OS-1 zone, which is the open space special zone, and then NE2, which is our natural environment zone in the zoning bylaw. So this is likely harder to decipher here, but just for council's information, this is the draft plan of subdivision that applies to the subject lands. And the red represents basically the minor changes that were approved earlier this year, mostly consisting of a slight shift in block dimensions here. So this application, as noted, this zoning application is just seeking to clean up the zoning in order to match these changes. So I'll highlight those changes at this point in time. So the first change does include recognizing a new access on the north side of the high density block to Street C. So if council can see my mouse on the screen here, that's sort of shown by the beige rectangle, I'll call it. You can see that that's a new access going to this R3-16 zone up to Street C. The second addition that's looking to be recognized is just the addition of a new single detached lot, again, with that reconsolidation of the lot fabric. And then the third change is just recognizing a realignment on this stormwater management block. So up here on, I guess this would be the northwest corner, there's been a slight realignment of the dimensions of that block and a new access provided, again, to Street C. So looking to recognize that here. The proposed changes for the reduced lot frontage are shown in yellow here. These would be the lots that are affected. So lots 25 through 29 are shown on the southeast corner of the plan. And then that single lot 88 is shown on the northwest corner, north of an access to that open space block here. So in terms of comments received on this application, no comments were received from members of the public to date. South Huron staff, as well as the Sauble Bayfield Conservation Authority staff, noted they have no concerns, and Bell Canada noted that they have no comments. In terms of the planning review, my staff report contains the detailed planning analysis provided for this zoning bylaw application. I would say that generally speaking, at a higher level, this is certainly a location in Exeter that we are directing more efficient, higher density development to be occurring. And certainly it is felt that this zoning bylaw amendment continues to allow this draft plan of subdivision to achieve that goal. So generally felt to be consistent with the new PPS 2024, as well as the Huron County and South Huron official plans. So it is staff's opinion at this time that zoning bylaw amendment application Z04-2024 be approved. I know council's just receiving this for information tonight, so happy to answer any questions that might arise at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Selena. Are there any questions from members of council this time? Councillor Oak?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Selena, just thank you for your report. Just wondering, block 164 is being removed from this. Can you comment on that and why it's being removed?
Yeah, thank you, certainly. I'll maybe bring up one of my photos to just refer to the block that you're speaking to, Councillor Oak. So that was actually removed as part of the revision to the draft plan that was approved earlier this year. So what I mean by that is that it's not being removed as part of this application. It was already previously removed. The block that we're referring to here is shown just being circled on the screen here. It's directly west. The applicant's intent for removing that block was to allow it to be developed separately from the plan of subdivision. The developer's request at that time was that he felt he might be able to more efficiently bring that online if he could develop it separate from the plan of subdivision. And it was felt by staff at that time that removing this from the plan of subdivision was not going to hinder the overall development of the plan and that it would be appropriate. So that was approved with that revision earlier this year. The zoning bylaw amendment does not seek to change the zoning on that block, so no implications in terms of the application before council today.
Councillor Oak?
Yeah, thank you. And just one other question on the one map that you had pulled up with the beige section there. Is that wide enough for an exit out of that area?
Yeah, thank you. So it appears a bit more narrow here, but yes, this is a service entrance that has been reviewed by South Huron staff, and they did feel that this access was wide enough for the purposes of servicing.
Okay, because it looks like I don't know, half the size of the one to the south of it, and looks like we're expanding that one with this new plan. So just wondering if it was a big enough exit, or is it a one-way exit?
Thank you. Through the mayor, I don't believe it's intended to be a one-way exit. The change that you're referring to the south, it's actually somewhat of a reduction of that entrance to modify the single detached lots that are just directly west of it. I can certainly measure if that's of council's interest, if I can just have a moment to do that, but yeah, I guess that would be my further comments there.
No, I'm good. I just was wondering, just based on and it might not be to scale sort of thing. So I just wondered what, it looked fairly narrow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from members of council? Okay, not seeing, are there any members of the public that would like to speak to this? That are in attendance? I don't see them. There was a couple of members here earlier and they just stepped out. Perhaps a due diligence. Aaron, would you just check to see if there's anybody there? Okay, so there's no members of the public that are present. Turn to Madam Clerk.
So it appears the applicant is online. Patrick, I'm not sure if you had any comments.
Welcome, Patrick, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Worship, and good evening, members of council. Yeah, my name is Patrick Mikowski. I'm an intermediate planner with Monteith Brown Planning Consultants here on behalf of the owner. Don't have anything to add. I've had a chance to review this staff report and in agreement with the contents in that, and want to thank staff for helping us move this application forward. So nothing more from me today.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions for Patrick while he's here? Okay, not seeing any. Okay, thank you very much, Patrick, for attending. Madam Clerk, anything further? Oh, very good. And we'll move to item 5. Mr. Coulson.
That South Huron Council now closes this public meeting at 5:11 p.m.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by